How about if I look at the Dark vs Maru games? Because I really want to analyze these, have a look at them. And I don't know, because actually I didn't watch them, the Dark vs Maru series being cast yet. But I know that, well, Dark is a really good player, Maru is a really good player. So I guess the final must have been amazing. I think I'm gonna rewatch it with commentary later as well, but I mean, the interesting games that is. But I actually want to watch the replays myself, and especially if I look at how Dark plays the matchup. Because I think I can learn quite a bit from his CVT, especially about the late game. I don't really know how the series ended. I know it was 7 games, but I don't know who won or what player won what games. He goes for a hedge gas pool. He builds a pool over here. I guess he does that to make certain that drops don't really harm him. Because else, or like, if he puts a pool here and Hellions drive in, the Hellions can't get surrounded by Lynx, for example. He goes for a very fast third base, it appears. He puts a drone here so he can turn it into an extractor. 2 queens, 4 Lynx. Okay. There comes the Reaper. He's trying to expand, but he can't. Okay. How many drones does he keep in gas after Lynx speed? 1 drone. Okay, so he stays in gas with 1 drone. And then saves the drone who's trying to expand with a queen, okay? He immediately started another queen in the main, but no queen in the natural. And that means he delays... It doesn't really delay anything. I guess that's pretty standard. That's kind of how I do it in CVC as well. Roach Warren, double gas at 330 about. He pulls the queen from the main to defend against the Hellions. Oh, okay. Scouts a bit with an overlord. What has he seen so far? I mean, you see in every tech building that Maru has in his main, but he also has a starport over here, and that one hasn't been scouted by Dark yet. Yeah, the replays are public, kid, not there on Reddit. Now at 420, when the roach one is done, he starts some roaches. So he starts the roaches before he gets a lair. Is this a timing push build, or why does he make so many roaches now? It's 10 roaches, that's quite a bit. And he also has a lot of queens. Drone count wise he's still ahead, but keep in mind the Terran has mules, so being ahead at this point drone count wise is kind of well... Oh... Yeah, if you don't build Lynx for defense, he finished Lynx speed, okay? But he didn't really build Lynx for defense, so he's going for a pressure build now. That means he went for 3 gases, 40-ish drones, and then just pure pressure. He doesn't rebuild drones, he doesn't rebuild the drones that he lost, so I guess it's an all-in. Let's see. And then he uses his excess gas to make Ravager. I think this is a fairly standard Roach Ravager all-in that Dark plays a lot. Right now his minerals are going a bit high. He's focusing very much on the attack. You can see his minerals are going high. See quickly. No unchecked queen, no unchecked queen, no unchecked queen. Where are his queens? His queens are dancing around. I guess that's a mistake. He found the starport with some links, and he's not really doing much about it. I wonder if this can't be a reaction. I think this was pre-planned by Dark from the beginning. This push. Nice snipe on the Liberator there. But I think this looks worse for Maru than it actually is. Because you see, you're like, oh, well, he has Ravagers in his space, losing the workers at his natural. But I think this is not bad for Maru, actually. I mean, he lost 27 workers, okay, there's a lot of links here, but I think Maru can survive this, right? I mean, I've been in similar situations. I would be really surprised if Dark could push up into these tanks, because the tanks are pretty strong. And now he's starting to drone up again and getting the lair. Okay. Yeah, of course he has to shut down the starport. Nice. Maru lifted the starport instead of finishing the Liberator to make certain that the starport doesn't begin to burn, but if Dark really wanted, he could use the Ravager Biles to make the starport burn and kill it. I don't know why he doesn't do that, because he knows Maru doesn't have a starport at home. I mean, he saw the entire base, right? So I think it's a mistake by Dark to not do damage to the starport with Biles. Let's get in the +1/+1 after the lair. And the roach speed as well. So it looks like a roach build by Dark. Maru is getting tanks. It's like on one factory, one racks, 2 eBay. Like Maru has 2 buildings producing units at the 8-minute mark. And income wise, it's quite a bit behind Dark actually. But because he has such a nice tank count, Dark can't really do much to him. There's some harass going on. I mean, Dark made a lot of mistakes at home while the attack was going on with his queens, not injecting. I think all his queens went up to at least 75 or 100 energy. He snaps the Overseer, but Dark got a good scout going. He saw the barracks. What is his reaction? An immediate Baning Nest and some Mutalisks. Okay. So he sees the amount of tanks, and at this point in the game he decides to go for Mutas. Did Maru scout? Yeah, Maru scanned the spire. Okay. Yeah, Brapier, that's the one I use. Now he's still producing roaches and he's getting the +1 melee now. Maru scouts, he sees the Hive and Ultralisk cavern, and then he scans the Natural as well to see if he's making a greater spire, I think. The Mutalisks are now here. They're harassing Maru a bit, but I don't think Maru really cares about them too much. I mean, these Mutalisks cost 600 minerals, 600 gas. That means to pay for themselves, they would need to kill like 20 workers, right? But two Mutalisks already died right there. It's pretty bad. Like, Mutalisks are really, really expensive units. They're as expensive as a Medivac. And nowhere near as useful, right? What does this game look like from Dark's point of view? Let's see, where is Dark? Like, Dark is... What is Dark looking at here? So he's spreading creep, yep. See, this is an interesting thing, because this is something I do a lot. He's moving his army right here, just so he can move creep up here, but he's moving his entire army down here, just so he can put this one creep tumor in this place. That's something I do a lot, and I always think that's a huge waste of time, but I guess... I don't know, I guess Dark does it as well. Maru is stayed on a very low barracks count. Like, he has only 21 marines at this point. That's not a lot. But look at his tank count, he's at 7 tanks. I was getting... When did he build... I don't know. It's just the... he built the Hydra then after the Hive, I think. It's interesting. He's getting the +3 carapace as soon, I think. So he's going for an engagement here. It's really like he's moving a queen down here just to spread creep. So he's really trying to keep his creep spread up. Right here is another thing you can do to move creep up ramps. Just move it up like a little bit. But that takes like an entire creep tumor cycle. 1 sec. Annoying cough. Annoying cough. Okay. What is the plan of Dark here? He's getting the Greater Spire. I think he's securing this base with spines. No spines at any of the other bases. And this creep is looking really good. I think he's gonna move a queen here and drop a creep tumor again, right? He still has these roaches. I don't think he really wants the roaches. They're pretty useless at this point. Maru saw that. Maru saw the unit at the edge of the scan there. Dark is... That's an interesting place to drop the units. Yeah, Dark moved out of position and Maru immediately capitalizes and tries to snipe the hatch. So he has a lot of corruptors and now he's building a second spire. Does he have any spire upgrades? None at all. Huh. There's a couple of roaches at the bottom side. No defense here. No defense here. A lot of queens. A lot of injects. Maru is going for ghosts. Ghost straight. I'm curious how Dark will try to punish this. I think he's going for a drop overlords here, yes. And then he will drop this place and at the same time try to take out this space with a huge push. I think that is the strategy that Dark is going for. He's at 95 workers, manning gas from, well, 5 bases. Guess the main is about to go empty. But... yeah, he has to make certain that the banelings don't crash in there. So here comes the drop. The Liberators are in position. The Liberators take quite a while to kill all the links though. Dark is trying to save his units there, but he cannot pressure down here because of the ghost tanks. Like, I think the plan really was attack here with a link drop and then while Maru focuses on that area, pressure him down here and take down the fourth, fifth base. Yeah, he sees the Liberator. His reaction is to pull the entire army home immediately. Okay. Now he's making the spores in the middle of the map and he's trying to... kind of like you do against Protoss, I guess. Really uses that creep. What is the army composition of Dark? 2 corruptors, some banelings. Banelings are very important. He has 4 infestors. I usually don't build infestors against Terran. I think that might be a mistake of mine. He has some Vipers, some Lynx. 100 drones still. He's mining so much. Look at the income. What is Dark, what is Maru doing with the orbital energy? He's not really muling anymore. Guess he doesn't think he needs the minerals at the moment. Army value wise, pretty even. Kind of pretty even in army value, but... Oh, those funnels shut down the snipes immediately. Oh, he's moving the spores over here. That's really cute. He's trying to contain Maru even more. He doesn't spread to the edge here because he might be scared of a tank being in range of the creep tumor. I think Maru also sees that the creep tumor is expanding through the sensor tower. Now we're seeing more corruptors, more banelings, so he really values the banelings highly against the ghosts, but against the tanks they can be really hard to get into a position. I'm curious if he will try to abduct the Liberators or if he will parasitic bomb them. I mean, he has to do something there. I'm also kind of surprised that we don't see an aggressive approach with the snipe. Here we go again, tank moves forward. Oh, Oh. Yeah, Broodlords are really slow, so you can't really spread them very well. Hello, Tysticks, what up? He sees the nuke. But the spores. Oh, the Broodlords! What are you doing? Oh my god, that was... Yeah, I lost this space to the drop, Marine Marauder drop there. Oh my god! So the parasitic bombs went down together with fungal. Look at the snipes, like the entire army of Dark is just exploding here. Why not try to fungal? I don't know. Units lost, Dark lost way more. But he also has more income, he's still at 90 workers. And Maru is not really muling. Maru really has to get up this space here, but Dark is doing a really good job confining him there. And there's not really a way for the Maru to expand up here. Because he would have to somehow get all ghosts and liberators in this area, and I don't think he can really do that. He went for a very Ling heavy army, Dark did, because he knows he has so many minerals, and he already killed a lot of tanks and other units. Oh my god. Ah, look at the anti-armor, like the Raven count is gonna be really hard to deal with here. Dark went for a very mineral heavy army, but look at it. Everything is just exploding and dying. Will he save this space? Will he save it? Will he save it? Will he save it? Will he... No, he repairs the missile turret! What the hell? You see 12 ravens. 12 ravens, 15 ghosts, army value wise. The army value of the army of Maru is way higher. And the ravens do such a good job against Ling Bane as well. Yeah, I don't know, like the Raven is really hard to deal with. Look at this, like the Ravens just killed everything. Oh no, Dark doesn't have an Overseer in this engagement, but he's moving in with the Banelings, trying to hit the ghosts. Oh, now the Overseers are coming. Dark is doing a good job pushing here. But the Overseers died and now everything Dark has is dying again. Dark lost 13k resources more. The problem is, if Maru doesn't completely starve here, which I don't think is going to happen, then eventually the map will be mined out and Maru will just have more because his army is so much more efficient than the army of Dark. Like Dark is fighting... Oh, look at this, look at this. Man, the Ravens are good. Maru really has to shut down this space and then he has to take this space and make certain that Dark doesn't get this space up. And Dark has to try to mine from this space. That's like the #1 goal of Dark right now. Try to mine from this space, stop Maru from mining from this space. That's kind of the win condition Dark has. Because even if he can't kill the army of Maru, at the moment, if he can get this space up, then Dark is gonna be in an amazing situation. More missile turrets. Yeah, see guys, Avila was right all along, just build a lot of ravens. Avila knew it already in Heart of the Swarm. This is kind of the style that Avila plays, right? But Dark, yeah, I mean it's pretty much what Avila does, but Maru actually plays it well. Yeah, there's also a caster cam. Why do I move the camera? I can just look at the caster cam. What are you looking at? Changelings. It's just a real cam. Oh, whatever. Anyways, I was just trying to find the correct camera, but I couldn't find it. Dark is trying to engage you, but he always pulls a lot of units back and then moves in with a couple of units. I feel like the problem really is that the Raven Missile does a lot of damage. I mean, on the other hand, it's not like Maru is dominating Dark here. Dark is actually putting up a... Maru is actually just putting up a good fight and barely surviving and not actually killing Dark. He's building Bio Raven. So the late game switch is to Bio Raven Viking Liberator. With ghosts, of course. But he's not building additional ghosts, that's interesting. I guess he's doing that for resource purposes. Because if he loses a fight and has all his money in ghosts, then it's really bad for Maru. And Dark is now mining from this base, that's very important for Dark. He's also making more spores. Oh no! It's so scary. You cannot dodge them. You can only split your units. It's not like you split and then you kill the missile like you would do with Banelings. You just split your units and hope not everything dies. Like imagine if Maru got this base up when he tried to, the game would be completely different. There's no way Dark could put... like Dark did a really good job at when he was able to take out that base of Maru. But I'm still not sure if Dark is going to win this. I think he will though. I think Dark will win this. Why not put up more spore crawlers? I feel like... I'm not sure if more spore crawlers would really do much. The problem is the main army of Dark is of Maru is not actually very sky heavy. I mean, yeah, sure, he has the Vikings and the Ravens, but what he's really pushing out is the bio. And if Dark just puts a lot of spore crawlers here, then Maru will just push into the spore crawlers either with nukes or with his bio like he's doing now. And the spore crawlers will not hurt the Marine Marauder. And then Dark cannot move in front of the spore crawlers with his army because else this happens. So it's kind of like the spore crawlers are not as effective in this matchup as they are against Protoss, I think. Against Protoss, spore crawlers are pretty good. Against Terran, they're kind of meh. But it's really interesting that the main fights keep being these Lingbane versus Bio fights. The Lingbane versus Bio, and the Ravens and Vikings are actually being used. I think it's just that the players are not really that experienced yet, because I'm pretty sure you could do a lot with good Raven usage here. Holy shit, and the nuke. Maru is doing a really good job pushing it. Now he's building additional ghosts and he still has that Bioforce here. Like he's only fighting with a small part of his army in every fight. Like, see, the spore crawlers are here, but Maru, if Dark moves them forward, then Maru kills them, and if Dark stands in front of the spore crawlers, then Dark loses the army. The spore crawlers are just here to buy time, I think. Oh shit. Like, I feel like it would almost make more sense to build spines instead of spores, but I don't know. Played this, yeah, but I guess Cyril, I don't know, Cyril didn't play as well as Maru, I think. Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. He uses the parasitic bomb a lot, even on like Medivacs. And now this is the nice thing you can do with the spores, you can use them to heal up his units. I think Dark is not trying to mine from this base as well, and Maru of course sees that, and now Maru knows. Now Maru knows he has to push, because if Maru cannot push over here and Dark starts to mine from this base as well, then even if Maru manages to expand, he's going to lose. I feel like Maru is actually going to lose this game. I mean, when Dark was able to get up this space, it started to look pretty bad for Maru, to be honest. Like, Dark has all the bases. He's just playing such a good positional game on Maru, like making no mistakes, never losing his entire army. And he was really able to do that when he pushed over here, set up the spore crawlers. That was really the point at which Dark got the upper hand in this game, when he was able to set the spore crawlers here, and he used the early creep spread to get that up. What would you do if you were in a similar situation? Like Dark? I think Dark is playing this correctly. Like, absolutely everything is correct that Dark is doing here. You can't even harass him more. I think Dark could use the Nidus Worms a bit more than he is. Like, the Nidus Worms could be really good if Dark would use them here, but he keeps pushing down here with the Banelings. That's really good by Dark. And Maru is running out of places to mine, like he has no more income. Dark still has a lot of income, he still gets 2k minerals per minute. And 1k gas. He didn't take this space, that's interesting. I mean, I guess Maru would just nuke it or blow it up, otherwise it's not really worth it to try. Now he's taking it. It's weird that he didn't before. Maybe he wanted to hide it, but he can't really hide if Maru scans this area all the time. He always pre-splits his units and then just goes in with them and tries to do damage. But I think he can only really do that because he's so far ahead economically. I wonder what a more even game would look like. I mean, we're looking at a 5 base against 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 base. So it's 5 versus 9 base, right? Dark has like twice the amount of money at his disposal, and if you look at the resources lost, it really tells the story here. Yeah, Dark is confining Maru here, but he is losing a lot more, and if he didn't have such a huge economic lead, like if it was even if Maru had these spaces and Dark had the upper half and they were fighting here, Dark would have no chance at all against Maru. Playing the way he does now. He's making more Banes again. And the Liberators are not killing the Lynx quickly enough. Like, Maru, I think Dark just wants to trade. At this point of the game, on like more or less like the past 5 minutes, past 10 minutes even, all Dark really wanted to do was trade and make certain that Maru didn't get his space up. Now Dark has it. This must be really frustrating for Maru because like, Dark is expanding right next to him. Oh, this is it. This ends the game. Right? Yeah. Parasitic bomb. Even if the armor missiles, not enough here. He couldn't get all the snipes up. Now Maru has no army left. He has 63 army supply. That's not enough. He will be able to push this base clear, but actually Dark doesn't have that many resources left either. It's interesting. Like, do you see this? Do you see how efficient Maru is? He lost 50% less in terms of resources. Oh, and then just like that, he kills half of Dark's army with 3 or 4 Seeker missiles, but he cannot get this base up, so he has to GG out, I think. Whoa, more missiles, yeah. Interesting game 1. Are all games this long? Drawn out? That's a very interesting game. Next one was Eastwatch. Isn't turtling until you get the style of a Zerg player? Yeah, but usually you don't get in a position where you can confine the terrain as hard as Dark did that game. I feel like Dark was able to harass Maru a lot harder than he usually is able to. Gold Madman. 6, 7, 8. I think 8 is the... Is 8? 8 is the spectator cam, I think. No? Not 8. Is it 6? Is this the caster cam? No, this is the dark. I think this is the caster cam, right? There's no way this is it. This is weird. Which camera did the casters use? This? No. No. Either... I think it's 6, yeah. So we see a roach push by Dark again. 4 gas. 4 gas, no drones at the 3rd base. So compared to last time, Dark is getting 1 additional gas. What did Dark scout so far? Dark saw the double factory, so he is preparing for a big Hellion push, I think. It's actually Hellion Cyclone. I don't think Dark knows it's Hellion Cyclone. Let's see. Isn't it 3? 3? That's 1 Casper. Look at where he's looking at. I think it's 6. Yeah, it's 6. I know, I was just curious. I moved the camera myself anyways. Maru is doing harassment. Dark is building the roaches. He's going for a spire. This is a Railgan build, boys. This is a Railgan build. Whoa. I mean, he gets 4 gas, 2 bases, well, a 3rd base, but he saturates 2 bases in the mineral line. Then he goes roach into a spire. That's how I always play this matchup. I mean, it's not a Railgun build, it's just how I play, I mean. He has roach speed done, yeah. I think he can catch the cyclones of roach speed, right? There's nothing Maru can do to save the cyclones. And if you do... Oh my god. Dark was greedy at home, he didn't build any additional roaches. He only got 1 of the cyclones. I don't know, I don't really like the position of Dark here. Like, he's in a really bad spot economically. This is kind of the problem if you try to completely forgo the links in the matchup. Supply-wise, yes, they're even, but Dark has a lot of roaches, and once these tanks start shooting, the roaches are just victims. Yeah, there we see it. Dark also built the Spire, but he didn't build any mutas yet. The Spire is done. So I guess he figured, well, Maru saw the Spire, Maru has factories, Maru has cyclones, Maru will just build 1 or 2 forts and then my mutas won't be able to do anything. Usually what happens if I try to do that is that the mech counter push is going to hit me way hard, because the early Spire is such a big investment. I mean, yeah, it only costs 2 Ravagers to build a Spire, right? 200 in terms of resources. Well, and a drone. But still, it's like, you give away a lot of momentum by going for the Spire, because instead of harassing your opponent or attacking your opponent with the Ravagers or whatever, you are sitting at home and doing nothing at all. But yeah, they're kind of even economy-wise. I guess Maru is not really muling. Maru has no mules on the map at all at the moment. He instead used his resources to scan, and he built a lot of turrets. I guess this is to protect the factories. He built the turrets, of course, because he knows Dark went for a Spire. I don't think he went for the turrets last game. Let's see. Dark is going for Swarm Hosts. Huh. I mean, Dark did... What did Dark kill? Where's the hotkey for that? Control. There we go. Dark killed 7 Hellions and lost 17 drones. Yeah, I guess that's kind of even, but Dark invested a lot into the roaches that he never used. Now he's going for the Swarm Host Locust. This is bad for Dark. This is really bad. Because look, the Locusts are not gonna reach the army. Actually, they're kind of reaching it here. At the same time, the actual push is coming over here. Dark now has to move. Wait. Let's have a look at this. What would I do? So Dark has Dark got supply blocked, so he couldn't produce the roaches that he wanted to. That's like one of the problems that we're facing here, a supply block. Then he has these cyclones down here. So what Dark needs to do is he needs to get the queens in front of the roaches to minimize the damage of the cyclones, and then you can kill the cyclones with the roaches. At the same time, this army over here is really easy to kill with locusts, because if the tanks siege, of course they are the easiest victims ever, and he doesn't have any helmets, so yeah, I see he went in with the queens. The queens tanked the damage, but he used the locusts on the army down there. Maru should keep pushing up here now. Yeah. Oh, now the locusts are coming in again. Dark is shutting him down here really well. Over here, he doesn't have enough. And the locusts, can they get any kills? We're gonna try to surround the top 4. You get 1 tank, 2 tanks, and a cyclone. Now they're on cooldown though. What will Maru do? He's being too slow here. He's losing the cyclones down here. Now Maru is losing on every front. The cyclones are being really good because Maru doesn't have any hellbats. That's the reason why the cyclones are, why the swarmers are working so well for Dark here. Oh. Yeah, Dark shuts this one down. It's interesting, he doesn't really have any army in the lower side of the map while he shuts this down, so like a Hellion run by here would have done a lot of damage, but Maru didn't go for that. Now Maru is quite a bit behind, but Dark's army is largely Swarm Host. He's only getting the Hive now. It's interesting how long he delays the Hive. I don't think he has a Baning Nest, so a lot of Hellbats would be really hard to deal with for Dark. Dark is trying to snap this base, I think. Does he know of this one? No. Dark is going in now. Yeah, he snaps this one. But I think that was an error by Dark. Guess he wanted to go straight for the actual real base there. Maru sees the Swarm Host, but a couple of Locusts are still ready. He has to pull the Roaches to defend the Swarm Hosts, of course. Cyclones in this... There's too few Cyclones here, so they just get rolled, but the Banshees are really good against the Swarm Hosts. Not sure if the Banshees are a response to the Swarm Hosts or if Maru would have gone for them either way. But Dark doesn't have anything that can shoot up. Now this is the reason why Dark went for the Spire to get the Mutalisks out, I'm pretty sure. He wants to get the Mutalisks to deal with the Speed Banshees. I think that's the response of Dark. Yeah, I think the cooldown is a little bit too long, Mitaka. I definitely agree on that. Because it's like... I mean, I get it that the unit is really strong and it costs very little, but it's just so hard to use. Like, it's such a clumsy unit. It's not really fun to use at all. Because the risk-reward is kind of imbalanced, I think. They should either decrease the cooldown or make the locusts a bit faster while flying, so you can actually use them. I think that would help a lot. But they already increased the swoop range and stuff like that. The Mutalisks here, not really well microed by Dark. Guess he was taking care of things in other places. And the Cyclones can kill the Mutalisks really quickly. I think Dark Maru has the upgrade. No, Maru doesn't have the upgrade. I think there's an upgrade that makes the Cyclones shoot faster, right? Yeah, see? Oh, this is dangerous. If the Cyclones lock onto the Mutas, then they cannot kill the Roachling. And you see how Dark uses the Mutalisks to kill the Banshees right here. Oh. Okay, now what else are we seeing here? We're seeing double Spire again. Dark is preparing for the late game. I'm not sure if there's gonna be a late game here. I mean, yeah, I guess Maru is going for Raven Banshee again. I guess it's actually, I mean, while all this was going on, Maru got up a lot of bases. And he gets an orbital at every base. We're looking at more bases for Maru than for Dark, to be honest. Only has a planetary down here, and it's the only planetary he needed so far. Did Dark kill that base? I think he might have. Yeah, it was an orbital. Dark killed it. Better trades for Dark so far as well. Oh. Yeah, they're very good. Swarmers have like two main uses. One is harassment and the other is to fight with tanks. But Broodlords and Vipers are just that much better in that role at the moment that you don't really see much Swarmos play. You can just get Swarmos into the game earlier on. I mean, I'm one of the players who actually uses Swarmos a decent amount. But even then I don't think they're that good. Is he really using these Mutalisks well? I mean, they got like 6, 5, 7, 8 kills each. But then 2 force shoot at them once and they're all dead. This bad, man. But 20 workers killed total. I'm really curious how the army fight is gonna go, like the way, like how Maru will... Oh, here we go with the engagement, so let's have a look at this. Dark is attacking from here with Locust and Banelings. Yes, he doesn't even use the roaches in the main fight. The roaches are sent to take out this space, okay. So Maru, Dark thinks he can take this one out with the Swarmos alone, pretty much. Okay, let's see. The Banelings roll in, he has to kill the Hellbats with the Banelings. The Locusts land and kill a couple of the Cyclones, but Maru has too large of an army here, right? Dark still has a lot of money though. Like, there's no way Dark loses here, right? He's making 60 links. Oh, he splits the roaches into 2 camps. He sees it's a planetary, immediately moves them away. Is Dark gonna die here? No way, right? I think Dark loses. I mean, he makes banelings, but against... What do you want to do with banelings against against this many 4s? And tanks? Why did Maru unsiege? What? Why did he move half the army down there? What is this? This is crazy. Now Maru lost all of this for nothing. He just gave it away. Because he split his army. The Viking Raven went home? Why was he so scared? Now this is really bad for Maru. Like, Maru had a really good push going and then he just throws it all away. I guess he must have expected Dark to have a bigger army than just a couple of banelings. See a speed banshee push up here, and Dark is definitely gonna lose the gold. There's no way he can get units up here. The space down here, like, Maru is doing a lot of harassment everywhere, and it's really hard to respond with the Swarmos. Maybe needs to spend more. Yeah, but Dark likes to build a lot of banelings. Like, even against the mech composition that we're seeing here, Dark goes very, very baneling heavy. But even though he has these Swarmos, he's still barely trading efficiently. And I mean, if you look at the bases, then the game looks really scary for Dark. Because Maru has a lot of bases. Oh. Yeah, like the locusts just explode. I think Dark loses this, right? Gonna speed it up a bit. Yeah, Dark has to see, like, Dark has 1.7k, 1.1k in the bank, but he has to GG out. It's interesting. Hello, Muffinate. Hi, Ghost Mike. I'm a ghost, boys. Why did Dark GG here? Lost the gold. He's on 4 bases against 7. Cannot kill the army with the Swarmos. So I guess that's why he has to GG out. Hello, Erebus. That's interesting. He has such a big bank, but he goes very baneling heavy. The Swarmos can't really do much. Maru has a big Raven count, and I guess Dark just knows if he's not ahead at this point in the game, he has to GG out because the game is over. Game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last ones are kind of short. Let's look at the next one. Poor dude. Erebus, it's gonna get better. Let's see what we have here. Hatch. Gas pool. Can put the queen here to kind of wall off a bit. Sorry. Okay, fast lair by Dark. Bring speed into fast lair. Double gas, roach one. So it's gonna go for a roach push, right? Oh, it's a baning nest, no roach one. Spore crawlers. Okay, let's see. He builds 2 evolution chambers at the 3rd base. I guess he wants to wall off against Hellions here instead of here. It doesn't really matter that much where you do it, but you just have to wall off. He uses 2 queens for creep spread this game. Liberator going in for harassment. A fast baning speed. I'm curious what he's going to do here, because he's going for 3 gases, has 3 mineral lines saturated. He's building more drones. No additional gas is taken though. This is weird, because he's building drones right now, but you can't actually put them anywhere. This is gonna overmine, I guess. You should. I think he forgot to take the gases. I think he's going for 5 gas here, actually. Yeah, now he takes. Maru is going for the standard 3 Rex, factory, starport, double eBay, third base. He didn't throw away the Hellions this game like he did in the others. The event is the WESG, I think it's called that. World Esports. I don't know what it's actually called. But it took place today in the morning at like 3 AM for me. Let's see, we're seeing a lot of Link Bane. We see a Hydra then, was a pretty late one, going for the Hydra range of course. He didn't take the gas in the main ever, so he stays on 5 gas. I think he might have forgotten about the gas in the main. Not really a point in staying on 5 gas, I think. Here comes the drop. Maru Dark sees it, moves the links up here. He has no units here, so Maru immediately goes in here. Pretty standard mistake to make, like you just forget about the base down here, then he moves the Spore Crawler, the Liberator has to fly away, goes around his way and sieges here again. Right? Something like that. Doing Hydras. Hydra range is almost done now. He has to pull the drones. He always pulls the drones, even this late into the game, instead of just taking the damage. Look how many queens this Liberator's killing. 2 queens already down. He could have gotten a 3rd one there easily. But eventually it does die down. And we got a push down here. This is an interesting place for Maru to push from, because Dark doesn't have vision up here, like no way along this path does Dark have vision. So I think Dark is completely unaware that this is taking place. He has links set up here to damage the 4th base of Maru, but Maru didn't actually build a 4th command center yet. It's like a 3 base all in by Maru, I guess. I mean, he built additional barracks instead of taking a 4th base. Either way, it's a very heavy push by Maru, and I wonder if Dark can actually stop this. Because the tanks are set up. This is what Dark is gonna do, attack over here with links and then go through this area with the Bane Hydra Force. He also has links over here that are gonna accidentally get the reinforcement. You see the links go in, and then the tanks were a bit distracted and Dark is able to kill off both tanks, and then he can retreat. All he really wants to do is kill the tanks, and then he can make as many Link Banes as he needs and clean up the rest. Guess the reinforcements killed the links in the middle of the map. There's no hive on the way, there is no Hydra speed. I think that's a mistake. Dark must have forgotten about it. Won the 1st place. I don't know, one of these 2 players, but I don't know. I don't actually know which player won the tournament. At this point it's 1-1. It's game 3 out of 7. So I'm watching these games for the first time right now. Oh, Maru sees the 4th base attempt, immediately shuts it down. Dark is expanding over here as well, but Maru is already in place to shut down this 4th base attempt, and then this is a very dangerous place. Because it's really hard for Dark to punish this. He would have to go along all this way with links to backstab Maru, and if he goes on just frontal for a frontal push, then Dark will die. At the same time, Maru is still pressuring down here, and he has a 4th base almost done now, and the 2nd factory on the way. Oh my god, this is bad for Dark. Very bad. Yeah, Dark went for a frontal push, but there is no way. I guess he didn't know the tanks were there. At the same time, he's losing everything down here, even overlords, and now Maru can just push into the main base, siege the tank here, siege a tank here, and now he has all this area under control. This is a very, very hard place for Maru, for Dark to push out from. I think this is gonna be game over soon here. I mean, Dark is behind in supply, Maru is ahead in bases. That's usually bad, because Dark can barely hold on with all his army, but Maru has such a huge army at home. Because keep in mind, this push over here has been going on for like 2 minutes, shutting down that 4th base. And in the meantime, Dark used all his units that he's building at home to defend against this push. And Maru is just keeping the macro up at home. So you would be like, holy shit, how does Maru have so many units? Like, he just lost his entire push, but this push has been going on for such a long time that the next push is of course already ready again, and Dark did not stand a chance. He just fell apart when he lost that 4th base, when he went for that very Lingbane heavy force for a long time. Dark just couldn't really get up a standing army to compete with Maru. Yeah, more tanks are always coming. That's game 3. Now it's game 4. Yes, Digitus. I got the replays. Yeah, it's 2-1 Maru. So Dark won the first long drawn out game where he went for that all-in to get ahead early on. And then 2 games in a row, Dark could not get ahead early on, and Maru just demolished him. It wasn't even close. We see the same thing that we saw in game 1 right there. Just that Maru is able to shut down the 3rd base attempt this time. Dark couldn't get a queen there, but nothing important going on. So I don't really spend a lot of time. Dark kept 1 drone in gas. So he can get that 4-minute lair if he wants to. 2 additional gases and a baneling nest and a lair. So at 4 minutes, when he has the main and natural saturated, he gets 2 additional gases and the baneling nest. I used to do this a lot, but I felt like it would slow down my 3rd base quite a bit, like the rate at which I can drone that one up. What did Dark see? He saw the Banshee. So he built spores at his bases right here, and I guess none at the natural. It's a bit greedy in my opinion, but hey. He at least built 1 spore. Lair is done, gets the baning speed, drones up this space, and then he gets the 4th at 5 minutes 20. Well, we see very similar patterns by Dark in all of his games so far. Except when he went for that very quick roach push. The double Evo chamber, I guess it's gonna be another, Dark is deciding to go for another based style on this map. Yeah. I wonder why he goes for links on this map. I feel like this is a very good map for roaches. I mean, Maru can play this one very defensively. Maru gets the 3rd base at 6 minutes. So when Dark already saturated his. Okay. Yeah, I mean at that point Maru has his main and natural saturated, I guess, so that's when he takes his 3rd base. Makes sense. Surprised that he takes this one. We should get some vision over here, because harassment over here by roaches or so could be kind of annoying. Now Maru gets the Spire. Dark gets the Spire. I wonder what he saw. He's injecting a bit here. I don't think Dark really saw anything, it just got the Spire. I think Mitaka, I think the Zerg race is actually better than the other races at the moment statistically. And why is this map good for roaches? I think the map is favoring mech a lot. Like, it's a very, very mech favored map in my opinion. Because it's kind of hard for bio to push into these confined areas, and against mech I prefer going for roaches. And I also like to abuse like these cliffs with roaches. I also like to drop in the main with roach hydra. I feel like I can do a lot of things on this map with roaches, which is the reason why I usually go for the roaches here, like Mutalisks and roaches. But Dark is going for a Lingbane Mutalisk style here again. Curious how this one will work out for him. I mean, he's gonna lose his 5th base, I think. Not to the Banshee, but to the bio push. Like, these pushes are very hard to play here, but it's also very hard for Dark to respond. Like, if Dark is not preparing for this ahead of time. If Dark would have a flank prepared here or a flank prepared here, he could do a lot of damage to this, but if he just A moves into it, then it's really hard for Dark to deal with this. I think he might even try to prepare a flank right now. He's going across the map with the Mutas. Like, this is one thing that I don't really understand. Why is he not trying to use the Mutas for defense here? Where are they headed? He's heading to... Does Dark not know that... Dark knows that Maru took this base. He's heading for the potential 4th of Maru. So what he wants to do right now is shut down the 4th base, I guess. Now he's going to the 3rd. But Maru already has another army at home. As I mentioned before, while the Terran is pushing, is of course building the army at home. But unlike Protoss, the Terran can't build his army on our side of the map with a war prism, but actually has to build it on his side. So now we see another push to the 5th base of Dark. Dark is spending a lot of attention over there with the Mutalisks harassing, and he only got 3 kills so far. That's not really a lot, but I guess it also takes its toll on Maru. It's just that Dark can lose a lot there and doesn't really gain much in comparison. Yeah, like, he doesn't come in multiple angles, Digitals, exactly. Like, see, like, he has all his army here, and then he just runs into this and the tanks kill everything. Imagine if Dark had a couple of links here, positioned to attack these tanks, or like some banelings as well, so he can snipe the tanks with his Mutalisks. Like, Dark could do a lot of things here, but I feel like Dark's not playing this well. And also, he is supply blocked yet again. We already saw this in previous games, so he cannot spend his money. He could build... Imagine if he had 8 Mutalisks more right now. Like, if he could actually spend his money. Of course, he's not gonna build 8 Mutalisks, but I just... Like... He could afford 8 Mutalisks. Yeah, he sees the tank, he fails to get it, and then runs into a 4. Shift queuing the units to go home. At the same time, he has to defend over here. Yeah, he's gonna lose this base. Now, here we see it again, right? He moves his entire army up here and has no defense here. So if Maru has another squad of Marines here, like 16 Marines, goes in, he will just stem down this base before Dark can respond. I think that's pretty weak play by Dark, to be honest. Now we see it. Now Dark is starting to spread his units a little bit. I mean, keeping... My hair is see-through. I know. Noob by the edge. It's I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. Spoilers. Look, you can see through my hair. You can also see through my eyes. They're blue now. It's my secret. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Dark did only really try to kind of take one engagement here. Like, for the last like 4 minutes, Dark was just being pressured by Maru, but didn't actually take a fight. Now it's coming from multiple angles. See, this is what we wanted. He pulled the banelings a little bit back. He's sniping the tanks with the links, and he's absolutely crushing the push of Maru here. Yeah, see, this is good, this is good. But he also lost most of his mutas. I'm not sure how many he lost before the fight even started. And Maru already has the next push set up. This is what we were talking about, right? He had to use the Marines defensively before he went over here. Now he can use them aggressively. Because the Mutalisks went home. He sniped the pool of Dark, so Dark can no longer build links. He's getting the Ultra Cavern. No Greater Spire, but some Corruptors. Don't think he has a Greater Spire, right? Where is the Spire? There. No Greater Spire. I guess he wants to finish the Carapace upgrade. I don't know, like sometimes we make mistakes and are like, well, I would look really stupid if I would cancel the spawning pool and place it somewhere else now, right? But yeah, I mean, Maru must feel pretty good. He's on 4 bases, he can take this free 5th base, he has a gold base set up. Meanwhile, Dark is on, well, this is a half a base, right? He's on a very good base count. I think Dark doesn't really care too much about the base, about the base count at the moment. Maru sees the Corruptors and the lack of Greater Spire. I'm curious if Dark will cancel the upgrade and get the Greater Spire now. The 2 Liberators killed 7 links there. 7 drones. I feel like Dark will try to just crush Maru, but it will fail. I don't think... Really, I think... well, Dark has a lot of Ultralisks. Maru has these mines really well positioned all the way back here. I wonder why he built mines this game. Was it in response to mutas? I mean, it must have been. Other than that, everything is kind of the same. Dark is going in. He sends the links ahead and then the banelings roll in. Oh, he gets the... No, my god, he wasted so many banelings on that planetary. Imagine if Dark had burrow and would just burrow 4 banelings here. Maru runs into them. Yeah, I mean, he killed the 4th base, but Maru just retakes. That was a really bad engagement by Dark. Let's go. Let me have a look at that again. Look at the resources lost. I mean, right now it's even. And then Dark wastes everything to kill this 1 base. There's some harassment going on here. Killing nothing but a couple depots. Maru is supplied, but I don't think Maru cares. I mean, he's at 191 supply. Yeah, like, look at the amount of... I think it was a mistake that he sent the banelings on the planetary. It was kind of even, and now Dark is way behind in resources. I feel like Dark is gonna lose this game pretty easily. Like, very, very big time. Because Maru is now preparing his Ghost, and I guess Ghost Liberator. Ghost Liberator is really good. As long as Dark doesn't get Broodlords, I don't think Maru will go for the Ravens this game. Oh, this is a dangerous push. He has so many banelings, and... Can Dark kill him here? No way, right? No. What? Maru didn't really trade that much worse there. No way. Wait. Let me look at this again. What exactly happened here? So we are about even in army value. And then Dark has about even in supply, even in army value. Oops, that was the wrong button. Goes on for like 2 more minutes, okay. But Maru was caught off guard, like why did he have his units here? He should have his army behind this area, because this is kind of a wall. that the Zerg units funnel through, but he was completely caught in the middle of the map. No tank sieged at all, except the one over here, I guess. The Widow Mines are not really effective here, I think. I don't know why Maru went for Widow Mines this game. Well, I don't know. But I guess Stark is just gonna keep pushing him now. Maru retakes the gold base, his 5th base. I mean, income wise, it's still okay for Maru. He can get the gold base up. He's gonna try to do it with another planetary here. Good micro on that one Widow Mine, lifting it and putting it back down. And Dark just goes here in here again. I'm always scared of going through this area, but I guess it might actually help the Zerg player a little bit, and instead of harm him even. All the banelings are dying. But Maru doesn't really have anything left but a couple of ghosts, and Dark has such a good economy behind it that Maru has to tap out. Wow! That did not go how I expected it at all. How does Dark lose at this point? Not at all, Dark won that game. But I felt like Dark was going to lose it. When he took that first engagement and didn't really kill anything of Maru. But then he just remaxed and went for another push. I feel like that first engage, or well, I mean, he killed the tanks that Maru had, but it felt like such a weak push. And Maru had so much time to build an army and prepare for the next push, but then he was just caught in the middle of the map. Like a huge mistake. And yeah, I mean, Dark killed the mineral line at the gold base, but I don't think it matters that much. I mean, are you gonna trade 25 banelings for a mineral line? I mean, I would rather lose 16 drones than 25 banelings anytime, right? Unless I only have 16 drones left, but like in a normal scenario. And we see this same stuff here again. A quick lair by Dark. No link speed this game. Oh, interesting. 3-minute lair. And he gets a 3rd base and a roach one. If Maru scouts this, he would notice that the roach warden is 15 seconds earlier than the... 15 seconds. I guess it's actually 45 seconds earlier than the standard roach warden by Dark. Yes, it's gonna be a 2-base roach speed push. Or a Nidus. Yeah, digitals, but I mean, Dark killed the base of Maru in that game. And then he immediately... Maru just lifted the base that is like 5 meters away from it. Like, it's like he kills this base, but Maru just lifts a base that he has here and puts it here. And Maru and Dark lost 4k resources more than Maru. That's not really a good trade, right? I mean, what is important is that Dark didn't lose a single Ultralisk. And those are really, really expensive units as well. But he lost so many banelings against Maru there. I'm really surprised. I think the mistake was just that Maru was caught off guard in the middle of the map. That's why Dark was able to win so handily. I guess Maru didn't expect Dark to go for another push that quickly. I mean, if you kill a base and your opponent just has another one next to it, it doesn't really matter. Hello, kill size. Yeah, and I mean, Maru knows at this point that roaches are coming. He only sees 3 roaches, but he already has a Banshee and Cyclones ready, so I guess Maru crushes this really easily. Yeah, the roaches are dead. Pew 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 pew. No quick roach push out of Dark at all, actually, just a macro open. Without link speed. Dark knew this push was coming. And he has an Overseer ready. He has to transfuse it though. He didn't transfuse the Overseer. Now he realizes it and it's gonna pay with his queens. I mean, Dark helped his push, but Maru already has his third base set up. Dark already is preparing, Maru is already preparing his full mech switch. A 3 roach opener? No. This is a 2 base roach speed, 3 gas opener into third base with a couple of drones, just enough so you can survive. Yeah, Dark is running around on the map a lot with roaches. He's trying to hit him at multiple places, like he attacks him here with roaches and then he's like, oh, I can kill 2 or 3 workers here, but Cyclones are doing a really good job at shutting down the roaches and so do Banshees. So Dark is not really trading very well, as you can tell by the resources lost. Upgrade wise, Dark is also behind because Maru went for that fast +1 carapace. I feel like Dark didn't properly read the build of Maru this game, so he couldn't get the roaches out in time. Yeah. The infestation pit, is it for the hive? Or for swarm host? Usually Dark doesn't get that. Now this scan, holy shit, he just saw that Dark went for the burrowed tunnel roach. So let's see, does he build turrets at his bases? Nope. This will do a lot of damage and then Dark will make a switch. Dark has to crush this army here. There's like, this is not a scary army. The roaches killed 17 workers. The tanks all died to the bile. The queens shut down the banshees. This was a really good engagement by Dark. He waited until the last second to morph the Ravagers as well, because the Ravagers are there a lot quicker than other units. So it's efficient to wait for as long as you possibly can before you get the Ravagers. Maru immediately noticed that the army of Dark was a bit clumping there, so he started to move the Banshee. Sorry. Still a burrowed roach here. I see the burrowed. Yeah, it's burrowed roaches in every mineral line right now. Maru is being very stubborn, not building turrets. Now he's starting to. Maybe he didn't have an eBay actually. I don't know. Didn't pay attention to that. More tumors. Dark is expanding a lot. If Dark can get his bases up, he usually feels fine. And now he's building Swarmos because he knows he's up against mech and he did a lot of damage. So I guess he feels very fine about going for the Swarmos here. Like sending locusts over here to this area to snipe the tank could be good. Another scan there going down. Sieging the tanks here is kind of cute, but it's also doing a bit of damage to Maru right now. Maru lost 11 workers again to the roach harassment. And Dark is now maxed out and Maru is like barely alive. Not sure what these are. Guess I misclicked. Now he's harassing. Oh, this is cute. Dark is harassing him here and he knows that Maru has his army somewhere in this area, right? Because that's where Maru keeps his army all game long. And now Dark is harassing him here and this pulls Maru into this area. So he can... could even potentially fight against the army. I would have expected Dark to trade against the army actually, and not try to attack the command center. But it also meant that Dark had a very easy time sniping the tanks, because if there was a tank in this area, the roaches would have revealed it to Dark. So here we go with the next wave. Now he will notice that that Maru has his entire army there this time, so he can't really do that much with the Locust. But Dark is really adamant on pushing through this area, and what I'm very surprised by is that he's going for a lot of banelings again. Does he have... Yeah, he has Baneling speed, but why does he go for such a big Baneling push here? I mean, you want to kill the Hellbats with the Banelings, and once you kill the Hellbats... Oh my god. Bro? No. That was bad. He's building spores here again. Against potential banshees. I mean, all flying units Maru really has are Vikings, right? And that one, that odd liberator. I guess it's against banshees. I mean, Dark is really good, really well set up economically. He's mining a lot of gas. Once again, 5 bases, 70 drones, and he's mining gas from all the bases. So you can go for a very gas-heavy composition, and because the Swarmos are trading very efficiently, like if you look at the units lost, Dark is even ahead compared to how the games usually go. He's trying to do damage here, and this of course pulls Maru's army completely out of position, snipes the tanks, and now he could even try to push in here. Instead he just sends in a couple of burrowed roaches. There's no turrets here really. Snipes the tank, immediately burrows again. Now Maru has to scan. But the sensor tower always reveals the army position of Dark, and I'm still kind of intrigued by the Banelings, because Maru is going for a very tank heavy composition. Against very tank heavy compositions the Banelings don't work that well, but I guess there's not really a way for Dark to lose the Banelings at this point. So I don't know. Now here we go with the engagement. Blinding Cloud on the tanks. Using 2 parasitic bombs instead of more blinding clouds. Very interesting. I don't really like that, to be honest, because this is not really doing damage, to be honest. But the trade was still okay. Because I mean, Dark didn't lose these Swarmos, of course. He mostly lost Banelings once again. Now he's even doing a little bit of economic damage here. Trying to snap the Banshee, but of course Maru is good enough that that will not work against him. The Swarmos are standing near the spores, so the Banshees can't kill them. But once again, Maru is starting to get up that dangerous 5th base. He even takes an orbital here that is completely undefended against Sling Run buys at the moment. He does have a sensor tower though, and Dark is going for yet more Banelings. And yeah, I mean, you could say, wow, well, this is free damage by Dark, right? Yeah, it just killed 2 tanks, but it also uses up a lot of time on Dark side of things, because in this, now the Swarmos have no use for the next half a minute. So Maru has like half a minute time to prepare for the next push and try to make certain that the next time the locusts appear, the tanks will not take that much damage, and you can also harass Dark, as he was trying to do there. And he also sees, oh, the Swarmers are still here with his scan. I guess that's okay. Yeah, the Hellbats are trying to kill the Locusts. He loses 2 tanks, 3 tanks, and some turrets. Now the Swarmers are of course not part of this fight, but they already kind of did their damage beforehand. But Maru has 94 workers, that's right, Kidnap. Maru has such an insane income, but yet he's not really mining from the gas. I was taking it now, maybe he even lost the gas, I don't know. But what Dark is doing really well, like what we noticed in a couple of games now, is Dark is getting into these positions in the middle of the map, sets them up with spore crawls, and then really plays the game from there, like trying to constantly deny the bases of Maru. That's also what he did on Catalyst in game 1, where he eventually won. Like he just set up a contain on Maru by spreading creep there very quickly, setting up some spores, and then Maru is in a position where he really has to fight to get his next base up. Now he's already going for the corner base. I think Dark is probably kind of expecting that and will try to deny that base of Maru. I'm not sure why Dark doesn't have an Overlord here. I think that's kind of lazy, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure he has Overlord speed. He has the Pneumatized Carapace upgrade. So he does have Overlord speed. Dark, Maru sees the Greater Spire, so he knows Broodlords are an option. And once again, Dark is now even using the Spore Crawlers for his Vipers. I think he should heal those back up, but Spores are kind of important. I mean, he has no anti-air here at all. If Maru pushes in, blows up the Spore, then what are the Broodlords gonna do, right? But Maru really has to fight for his 5th base, and that can't be good for Maru at the 20-minute mark, being on 4 bases. You really have to take additional bases as a mech player, and Dark is doing such a good job at constantly denying the additional bases of Maru here. Parasitic Bomb on the Ravens. That's what he also did in the other game. Now the Armor Missile, and he goes for the Parasitic Bomb again. Dark always goes for the Parasitic Bomb. Loses the Hydras. I guess the Hydras die insanely fast against Cyclones with the minus armor upgrade. Hello, Liggerman. You should repair this. Raptors and Vipers. He's doing a good... Oh my god. I would use the anti-armor missile there. Just put some turrets down. Banshees. Oh, let's look at units lost. Maru lost way more. This is not good for Maru at all. Another cute harass here though. Taking out one of Dark's spaces. He can't really take out this space with the Banshees. And I mean, he's really trying hard to take an additional base, but if he tries to take this base, the Locusts or the Broodlord shoot at it. The problem for Maru is really that Dark was able to set up this this contain over here on him, and Maru just, I don't know. I feel like this is more on Maru than it is on Dark. Like, I don't know why Maru never really put that much effort into pushing into this area here. Like, I mean, he really has to push and try to get this area. If Dark was here for more than 10 minutes, right? Like 16 minutes, no, not 16, like it's like 13 minutes of the game. Dark stood here, had Swarm Wars, and was just looping units at Maru over and over again. Killing tanks, killing SCVs, using the spores. And Maru just stood here, was like, you fight me, instead of trying to somehow push into this. Like, Maru doesn't have to push far. This is not a I have to push across the map situation. This is I have to push like 5 meters from here to here so I can secure this area. I mean, if you don't secure this area, then eventually Dark will just continuously deny your 5th base, and then you're not gonna win, right? You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. That's game 5. There's 2 more games. I guess Dark won 3. I predicted a 4-2 for Dark. Where did you find the replays? I think somebody posted them before. They're on StarCraft Reddit. There's like where all the replays of WESG are. There's a link there. It's 2-2. This is game 6. It's 3-2 for Dark. Dark won game 1, game 4, and game 5. And Maru game 2 and game 3. Ooh, Proxy Rex. Proxy Rex. I guess Maru is gonna beat him with the Proxy Rex. Dark doesn't scout them, right? No. No, Maru. Everything on the line. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the link, Digitos. Maru, why do you do this to Dark? The bunker. Maru, Dark sees it now, this is response. Second gas. Queen, Queen. Ling Ling, Roach Warren. Okay. I was curious what the response to this sort of build is usually. Will he let the Queen finish? He's gonna save it with the Lings, I think. He injects the main, but not the natural. It's only a 2-rex, I think that's the key thing here, it's a 2-rex opener. He's at 20 workers, so he didn't fully drone up the main, but that's okay, I guess. He notices that there's very few units in the bunker. Well, he must notice that. Now he's killing the bunker. And Maru must feel pretty happy, because this is kind of what he wants, right? He kills the bunker, he forces Dark into roaches, now he can build cyclones and a banshee, and well, Dark doesn't have anything to respond to that, so all Dark can do is sit at home, drone up, while Maru is cruising ahead. That was interesting. Maru did not show the cyclones yet, but Dark must know that Maru has cyclones, or at least kind of assume it. Here comes the Banshee. Dark is not droning up. Dark is going for an all-in. Drop overlord. Oh, he's going for a drop overlord build. Oh no, but Maru found the drop overlord in the middle of the map. This is horrible. How unlucky can you be? So unlucky. Wait a second, I'm speechless. Dark pushed out, sees the Banshee, sees the factory, knows it's probably gonna be cyclones. Pushes up the ramp, Maru's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Then Dark gets the Overlord speed, gets ready with the drop Overlord. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with like a Queen. I'm gonna use the Queens to kill the Banshees, and then I'll have Ravagers ready. Everything is gonna be good, boys. Then he flies and runs into Marines in the middle of the map. Has to drop the Queens, because else he would lose the drop Overlord. Then he has to fly the Queens up here, tries to drop them, but one Queen just barely lands on the low ground. The Overlord dies. The Ravagers are out of position because he morphed them up here. This one Queen that is still... Oh my god, he manages to transfuse them? He's trying to reinforce with Lings, like Ling Ravager. So you can make these into Ravagers as well. But Maru just caught him completely off guard in the middle of the map. Like the worst thing that could happen to Dark here. Maru is ahead in workers and completely crushes the push. That was very unlucky by Dark. That was very unlucky. Not only did he not scout the 2-rex, but he also got completely killed by having his drop Overlord caught in the middle of the map. Well, Queens have an ability that is called Transfuse that heals 125 HP and costs 50 energy. Yeah, he transfused the Overlord. Yeah, it's heal. The ability is called Transfuse, that's why. But it's a heal. Oh no, it's another proxy. No, don't tell me Dark doesn't see it again. Don't tell me this is how it ends. Dark won these long drawn out macro games and then he gets proxied twice. Is this for real? Is this how the series ends? Fucking Maru. Bunker? No. No, it's happening again. Dark scouted this. This time Dark pulls the workers immediately. Tries to kill the bunker. He doesn't get the bunker, he cancels the spine. I don't want to know what. No. No! Dark! No! This can't be it. This can't be it. You see, he has to snap the spine. Oh! Oh my god. You moved the spine too close. That's such an obvious mistake. You cannot make that. He snaps the spine, goes back into the bunker. Now there's one spine here. Dark Maru. And this is not an all-in, right? Maru is like, yeah, I got my factory at home, starport, switch him up, throw down the reactor, build some cyclones, and Dark is like, I can survive, I can survive. Maru's like, yeah, I got 3 bunkers set up, gonna wall off with my barracks as well, gonna build some more marines, I guess, boys, we are fine. This is horrible. Yeah, I saw that one, Kidnap. This stupid 12 pool. This looks like one of my builds. Look at this. The spine attacks, Maru goes in. Spine attacks, Maru goes in. And here comes the Banshee, the reactor and the barracks, command center set up, and Maru Dark has nothing at all. I mean, I guess Dark is dead here. Transfuse. Yeah. He has to kill the SEV, so it's just want to. I don't know. I guess he's kind of nervous and like falling apart. That's why he's mispositioning the spine crawlers over and over. And now he's expanding. But look at this, like. He has a lot of workers, I guess. 28 workers. It was just continuously building workers at home, but Maru already has a space set up. Double mule, look at the income difference. 1.5k to 800, 300 to 150. Cloak Banshees on the way. Not only does Maru have way more income, but he also has the ability to harass and kill Dark. I think this is gonna be a very quick game. I mean, I know it's a very quick game based on the replay length, but it's gonna be a pretty one-sided game is what I mean. Here comes the push. I mean, the spines are gonna help Dark a bit, but there's no way like this gonna shut down these Banshees. They're gonna kill the queens and then yeah. Maru Dark has no anti-air. Just can't afford any anti-air. Dark is going for an all-in. But he's moving the spine crawlers across the map. Desperation times, boys. I mean, I guess Dark knew he was dead. I mean, the Marines are alone could kill Dark's army here. Yeah, he just fell apart. When he didn't kill the bunker and then he had to cancel the spine and... Poor guy. I really would have loved it if Dark actually won the series. I guess that's it. Maru wins the tournament 4-3. Cephalon. Weird Russian guy. Oh. Also interesting. I liked game 1 a lot more than game 7. What a way to go out. Dark just needed to play like Maru. Dark should have just 12 pulled him. Be like, yo, you tried to proxy Rex me? Blind countered. Wow. Well, those were the replays of Dark versus Maru, I guess.